Hello, everyone, and welcome to Vlog Media Breeze. Thank you for being here. I am going to be bringing to you Love and Marriage Huntsville. I kind of am timing myself on this segment this evening, and normally I take about 55 minutes on average, I have discovered as I look back at my videos, and today I want to take like 30. And so I'm going to get right into it. But before I do, I had something I wanted to share with you. And I'll just go ahead and tell you this. Google and StreamYard, actually, and there's no telling who else, okay, have made it so that I can no longer share videos here. And I know how to share videos. Anyone who has a YouTube channel knows it's very easy to share a video when you are in StreamYard. But they have hacked my computer, you guys, quite frankly, in a legal way. Google has. So I even have the FBI looking into that because I am very, very mad about some things that are going on when I'm over here on StreamYard, which is why I have not come back as much. And so I digress with that. I may not be coming back here anymore. I am working on some things outside of here because I like doing this and bringing content to people, but I'm working with a different organization in terms of how to best put myself out there on the web because Google is what I like to call, they have these things that they call algorithms, and I know all about how an algorithm works. And you can be a hacker with an algorithm. And you can do it in such a way, if you are a multi-billion-dollar company, you can do it in such a way where the government doesn't even care how you do it. I digress on that topic. I have a lot that I could bring on that topic, but I will not bring it here. I'm going to wait till these other avenues open up and I will bring it there because I'm a beast. You can't hold me down. And you need to really know that. You cannot hold me down. It will not work for you. Okay? So this is Love and Marriage Huntsville. If you would, just please get down in the comments or the chat and let me know what your thoughts are on Love and Marriage Huntsville. And to recognize you, I will, show your comments onto the screen so that you can also be heard. At the end, I may even put the link up. If I have enough people on here, I'll put the link up so that we can talk about it. I'm looking at a behavior that happens every time I come on here. The person who is, I guess, assigned to watch me, if you will, comes on, they leave, and then they come back. And then they go to their cohorts, and then they come back. And it's generally like somewhere between 5 and 9 of you. And I see you. I want you to know that. I'm going to start. This was Love and Marriage Huntsville. It was the final part of the reunion. I could have actually done 4 parts with Love and Marriage Huntsville had it not been for the holidays. but the holidays are here, so I'm glad that they made last night their finale. I think that they could have brought a little bit more last night. I was so excited about the first two episodes or the first two parts of this reunion for season 3. And then last night, I was not a whole lot of disappointment, but slightly, especially at the end, whenever they open up with Carlos finishing off with Tisha and Maurice, because they are hashing out their differences with Louis and Tiffany, who I really hope does not come back next season. I know Carlos is saying that he's telling, well, he said this over on DJ Richie Sky's channel anyway, that when people say all of the things that we are saying about Tiffany, that it generally means that they like her on the show. And that's not true. Sometimes that is true, like with Tisha. We say a whole lot of bad stuff about Tisha, but we like Tisha on the show. We disagree with Tisha a lot, but we like Tisha on the show, okay? We love her on the show. She does bring a lot to the show. Tiffany and Louis, we do not like on the show. So I'm sorry, Carlos King, you are going to need to go out there and just kind of hunt down a new couple for Love and Marriage Huntsville if you want to bring in a fourth couple, because Tiffany and Louis are not it. And it's mainly because of Tiffany. I really believe Tiffany has some issues. I really think she has some issues that stem from her childhood that make her just not a likable character, period, in real life, even. And I just want her to go get help. She doesn't recognize anything. She does not recognize anything at all. And then as soon as someone calls her on her mess, she puts it back on them. For example, last night, Carlos allowed Destiny and Tiffany to discuss some of the issues between the two of them. As soon as Destiny opened up her mouth to communicate to Tiffany what was going on, Tiffany tells Destiny something like, oh, I don't know why you're so bothered. And it's her whole expression when she says it. She's just disgusting. I just don't want her on the show, on television. You know, like with some people, you can want on television, but maybe have them do a spinoff somewhere else. With Tiffany, I just am, no, Carlos, no, absolutely not. She's not even a good balance for what we see these couples here doing. She's not even that. And I know Melody likes her because Melody has known her, she said, 7 years from a business perspective. And perhaps Melody, from that perspective, gained a lot of respect for her and likes her on the show. But that's just one side of it, Melody. The other sides are not, they're not gelling. They're not balancing out. And let me digress on that as well, because I can go off on a tangent. I'm kind of doing this today with no notes. Normally I do notes, but I wanted to go ahead and get it in because I know that tomorrow I'll be doing the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. So Carlos goes on and he brings Tisha and Mel together with their issues. At this point, the men have left the scene. And you guys, let me just go back a little bit because the men are in the back talking. I don't care how you squash it. Martell, and I've said this for over a year now, Martell is really, you guys, quite psycho. Martell is a scary dude. I'm just going to say this right here and now. Martell, the men that he considers his friends, he doesn't even really consider his friends unless he's going to use them for something. I am now beginning to see that the reason he apologized to Martell and Tisha is because he sees them with the most power when it comes to the builders group that they have tried to form. He sees them with the most power. And so he apologized to them to get in their good graces so that they could partner with him or bring him on with them to complete the projects that they are moving forward with. I say that because in that third reunion last night, he was in the room with Louis talking crap about them. That's what he was doing. I mean, really, in a manner of speaking, he was talking junk about Martell, who I agree with. I mean, not Martell, but about Marceau. And I agree with Marceau and Maurice. Those people didn't have any right to be talking about Maurice's son. And Martell, why were you putting your mouth in it? You see how he always loves to put his mouth in it just to antagonize people. And normally he's antagonizing people about the wrong side of the issue. Maurice has every right to be upset with Louis and Tiffany for bringing his son into a conversation. And Louis kept saying, you know what, no one got shot, no one did this. So it's not about that, bozo. It's not about that, bozo Louis. It is about your wife bringing a child's issues into a setting with a group of women that she didn't even know. And she said it openly and very candidly as if it was okay. And the two of you have the audacity to get upset with the Scotts? Honey, I'm feeling Kimmy on this one. Look, go ahead, take your shot. Okay, and we'll get that Scott DNA in there and mix it up and see how it goes. Because he went back into the room again and was talking behind their back with Martell. Dude is a backstabber. Watch out for him. Listen, Scotts, watch out for dudes like that. Don't take him nowhere with you and turn your back on him. Don't do that. And then Tiffany's, that's probably what links him and Tiffany, because they are the same people. They're the same type of backstabbers. And so next they try to get Mel. Carlos wants Mel and Tisha to hash out their issue. And you know, you guys, I'm for Tisha. Normally, like, I've grown to really like Tisha to some degree. At the same time, I didn't like the way she was responding to Mel last night. And that's not just because Mel is my girl, okay? That's because Tisha is irresponsible and she's acting like an adult spoiled brat. She really is. And that's so unimpressive. It's so unimpressive to see a grown woman not take responsibility for her own actions and then try to tell them. She tried to tell Mel, I think you're not a good friend. No, you're not a good friend, Tisha. People don't want to be around you because you're always whining. You're always whining and you're always trying to get people to only see your side. She thinks that she is the one who is always in the right. Tisha thinks she's the one who's always on the right side of the issue, and that she has it all down pat, and everybody else is wrong because they're coming against her, as opposed to her stepping back and taking a good look at herself and asking herself some serious questions. Because Tisha, baby girl, you are in the wrong. You are in the wrong. You are not in the right. And to say that Mel is not a good friend, Mel is a really good friend. The fact that you're on the show means Mel is a good friend, because she is the one who brought the show to the network. And you were one of the main cast there. How is that not a good friend? Because you want to be there, you're there. So I'll start with that. And then with Kimmy, she does the same thing. She expects everyone to succumb to her. You guys, Tisha, with all due respect, is the reason you should not spoil your children. And I'm not saying don't spoil them with material things. A lot of times people think, oh, if we give our children a whole lot of material things, that means we're spoiling them. You are not spoiling them if you tell them how to use those things. And if you hold your ground when you tell them about their responsibility of those material things that you have blessed them with, because even God loves to bless us. The Bible tells us that He loves to bless us. He loves for us to bless our children. But when He's saying to us, don't spoil the child, He's talking about correcting them, giving them good direction, building a good foundation of Christian spiritual values for them. And Tisha doesn't have that. Tisha does not have, I mean, I'm not going to say she's not grounded. She's grounded, but she's very spoiled in that no one really laid the complete foundation for her. She's been allowed to make people succumb to her, or the adults who raised her have made people succumb to her. Oh no, give that to LaTisha, don't do that to Tisha, things like that, as opposed to having Tisha see the other side. So you don't do that to your children. And Carlos finally asked Kimmy, if you and Tisha were not related by marriage, would you still be friends with her? Kimmy paused, and I think that pause for Kimmy was hard because she didn't want to have to say her truth. She didn't want to have to say her truth, you guys. She didn't want to have to say no. She wanted to say yes. And so she was pausing because, Kimmy is she's a professional, a consummate professional, and she wants things to come across the right way. And she said no, though. In the end, she tells the truth, but she's always very thoughtful about how she's going to put that truth out there. Because her truth had nothing to do with Tisha personally. It had to do with the fact that she doesn't know if she has that kind of energy. And being the person that she is, she doesn't know if she can really change to make things right with them. Because for her to make things right with Tisha and Wanda means she would have to step down a few levels, you guys. She would have to step down a few levels. And I know in my previous videos, I've had my qualms about Kimmy and my thought process about how she and Maurice came together. That is neither here nor there. I have no reality check on that. I'm just talking about my thought process, right? Overall, I love Kimmy's personality. I love her personality, and I like how she thinks about things as a person, and the respect that she gives other people around her. She really is able to bring about a good balance. Even the way that she hashed out things with she and Mel in the second season, when she and Mel sat down and had a real grown woman talk and put things aside. Well, see, Tisha is unable to do that. And that is why at that time, she thought that Kimmy was being two-faced. And Kimmy wasn't being two-faced. Kimmy was just living up to her word that she and Mel had agreed to. And she and Mel are like that. They are more alike than Mel and Tisha, or even Kimmy and Tisha. Mel and Kimmy are more alike in that way. And so, Tisha has this way about her. Whenever he was trying to get Mel and Tisha to talk, Tisha has this way about her that is kind of Wanda-ish, okay? When she goes there, her tone changes, and she has that I don't give a, F about you type of tone. And I think that it's not even that she doesn't give a hoot about Melody. It's more she is really, you guys, jealous of Melody. And what have I told you in the past about jealous spirits? Is Melody going to continue to be able to work with Tisha on the show, having Tisha be so jealous? And I like Tisha on the show. I'm sure Melody will find a way because Melody is that girl. She's also a person who likes to be able to bring about balance. Plus, Melody is strong. She's strong in her values. And Tisha is jealous. And it is hard. I have yet to this day, and I'm in my 50s, I have yet to this day to see anyone change jealousy in a person from jealousy to not being jealous. I've never, ever, ever seen it happen. And I've seen a multitude of jealousy over my life, not even just against me, but against other people. From the time I was in junior high school, I remember girls having jealous issues, and even young men at that time. That's why you would see them behave towards each other on the football field, that they would behave towards other guys because they were jealous. Those other guys generally had a little more going on than they did. Jealousy is hard to beat because that person is not satisfied with themselves. So the fact that they are not satisfied with themselves and they are not really secure in who they are, they always look at what someone else has. And that's Tisha. And a lot of times what someone else has is not even the material things. It is about who they are in their spirit. You're not going to be able to change that about Mel, Tisha. And Mel is not, I don't want her to come down to that level, her or Kimmy. And I don't know how, I really do not know how. I can help people. I've worked in organizations for youth. I've worked even with adults. I understand how to get people to see certain things about themselves. Jealousy and envy are two of the most difficult characteristics to change within a human being. Because to do that, they've got to dig deep on their, themselves and really find that thing that is holding them back from being all that they can be. And until they do that, they'll be looking for it in somebody else. So I digress with that. That's what really went down last night on that reunion. And I want to kind of go ahead and get through this. I want to go ahead and jump to the end, making sure I'm not missing anything. Oh, let me go ahead and bring up Miss Wanda and Dan. Dan is so pretty. Dan is just a gorgeous woman. She really is. That's where Melody gets those looks from. Dan is just a really very pretty woman on set, with or without makeup. And I was watching the dialogue between Dan and Wanda. And it's almost like the dialogue between Tisha and Melody, quite frankly, except with Tisha, you can pinpoint where it's coming from. With Wanda, you're just like, okay. You're like, okay, she's hilarious. But you have to come to the reality that Dan is a different kind of woman than Wanda. Dan is not a woman that you would catch in the same circle as Wanda. And that's real. If you are a Wanda fan, I'm fine with that. I'm a Wanda fan. I like Wanda on the show. I think she brings a certain element that helps people. It helps people to see how to, to finagle and communicate with that element, right? If you are on a different level. I just think that Dan is on a different level. And then last night, the thing that they brought up about Dan and her relationship, those young men being disrespectful, and that is from Marceau to Martell. Notice that Maurice was the most respectful one there. But Martell and Maurice, because they are both cheaters, allegedly, for Marceau, okay? Marceau should have kept his mouth shut. That was real disrespectful. I don't care if she was dating your brother. Let her tell her story. You do not have the right to negate that story, because just because he's your brother doesn't mean that you know what was going on between the two of them. My aunt always told me, and you guys have heard me say this before, no one knows what goes on between a man and a woman except that man and that woman. That man and that woman. So when Dan said we were friends, they should have let that be. You don't get to determine what Dan has said she has in a relationship with somebody. And then Martell, with his expressions over there, he is the most disrespectful, no count dude on television. He is so deceived, because he sits there and calls himself respectful. Oh, and I care about Mel, and I care about this, and and I would never do that, of course. And then the next breath, he's doing it. The way he spoke to Mel at the end of that reunion last night was disrespectful. Telling her to, his whole tone. I'm not even going to repeat what he said, but his whole tone was disrespectful. And that's why I was on Instagram today and I said, Mel, I would really like for you just not to even talk to Martell. Even on the show, say very little to him. Because when you talk to him, the more you talk to him, the more he thinks it's okay for him to disrespect you. He already thinks that just because you have children now between you, that it's okay for him to go to certain levels with you. I would pray for God's guidance every day. And dropping the kids off, I would take a friend with me, or I would do it in a central location. I'm just real concerned about how this dude goes from 0 to 100 like nothing. And then he intervenes in things just to bring about an opposing side that is really off base. Like when he was intervening between Marceau and Tisha when they were having their disagreement with Louis and Tiffany. He was on the wrong side of the road for that. Tiffany and Louis don't have the right to be putting their mouth in the lives of Marceau and Tisha. They don't know those people. Bring your own story, because rumor has it that the two of you cheated on your spouses with each other, allegedly. So let's hear that story. If Carlos brings you back next season, please let's hear that story. Let's hear the whole thing about how the two of you came together, and be honest about it. And I'm like Marceau, let's not talk about some haircut, which really is not a story. Your son getting his haircut. Isn't he like 13 or 14? He's getting his first haircut. Excuse me, guys. I'm over here drinking water. But yeah, he's getting his first haircut. No, but that's not a story. Tiffany reminds me of, you guys, I'm going to tell you, and she is biracial. So I'm going to say she reminds me of a Karen. She could very easily be a Karen. Very easily. I digress on that. I do want to say this. Shout out to Mel. Her Side Chick song is number 9 on the most downloads list. So I think you can go over to iTunes and download it for like 99 cents. So get on over there and download it. That's what I wanted to show you guys when I first came on, but I was unable to do that because, Google and StreamYard are not allowing me to do that. And as much as we want to say they are separate companies, anytime a company allows certain other companies to have access to accounts of their patrons or whatever they call us over here, that means they are in partnership. It means they are in partnership somehow. So that's why I'm saying Google and StreamYard. Because to come over here and do a live stream, StreamYard has to have certain accesses for you to do that. And Google allows them, right? So for that to happen, that means they are partners. I digress. I don't think I have much else to say. That was the reunion, Love and Marriage Huntsville. I don't see any comments as usual, which brings me to another point. The behaviors over here on this StreamYard are just not conducive to what I'm trying to do in my life. I don't like sneaky, devilish, satanic minded people. I like good, godly, good people, positive people. I like those kinds of people. But the people who come over here, they don't want to get in the comments. They don't want to participate because they are sneaky devils. And that's just the gist of it. And one of them I've caught, he or she, whatever it is, they know when they get in the comments, they know that I can automatically tell by your behavior who you are. And I block you, even though you come over with a different name. You keep coming with a different name, but you're not doing anything today because you're just sitting there listening. Google has set my channel so that it is not seen on YouTube. They have set up an algorithm on my channel. They follow me all over YouTube. They mess in my emails. They do all of this stuff. I have all kinds of proof, and I've shown it to the parties where it needs to be shown. I have stacks of proof. And that's why I'm talking about it very openly today. That is how they operate. They are like the legal hacker of the universe. They hack people. That's what they do. And now they have this log4 thing that's out trying to make people think that it is a different kind of hacker that gets into other accounts. No, that is those companies trying to get into your account. Okay, that is them. That's what that is. It's not someone out here just haphazardly doing it. It's someone within those companies doing that. And all of those companies are partners, by the way. You can go on CNN and look at it today. They think that everybody's dumb. And if you're Black, you're really in trouble. I'm telling you guys, I know this was Love and Marriage Huntsville, and I just want to talk to you. There is a lot going on in this world. There's a lot going on. Everything is very bad right now. It is the worst I've ever seen it ever. The crime in every single state, not even state, but country. Every single country, regardless of where you look, there are all kinds of crazy crimes. People are losing their minds out here, so be careful. And fill your houses with food, because right after Christmas, I don't know what's going down, allegedly, but there are some things going on between Russia and the US that have been brewing since Biden got into office. Russia and China don't like Biden, and they don't care how frail he is. You know what we need, which is really surprising? We no longer even have young white males running for president. We no longer have even that. These are old men running for president. And running for any office, really. They're all old. I mean, it used to be you could if you're in your late 30s or 40s, can you please run? But anyway, I should have saved that for a different video, but I don't know if I will be back over here to do a video even. But anyway, this was Love and Marriage Huntsville. It was one of the best reunions ever, even though last night, like I said, I feel kind of slighted about last night's reunion. But you guys have a great weekend. Well, the weekend's over, but Christmas is coming up, so have a great holiday. You see that? I didn't do that. You know who that was? Look at them. I see you. Okay? Mind your spirit, mind your ethos. Many blessings to you.